Hey guys, welcome to my cactus stream. Welcome to my live stream. I'm back with another live stream today. Yeah, I've set up the new camera. Like I've set the camera up in a new angle, and I can't tell if it's good or not. We would see. Experimenting around a little bit still, but we will get there. So yeah, I'm back with a new live stream, cactus live stream, sowing out, cactus care. I have cactus seeds that I want to bring on the stream. Hey, mate. Welcome to the stream. I once again need to change the setting. It's already translating automatically again. I'm not sure what's going on with these kind of features. You know, they're rolling stuff out without even mentioning it. But yeah, now it's hopefully English again. Great to have you. Thank you for joining. I brought a lot of cactus stuff today. Trying to not get carried away too much today. But yeah, great to be back. Thank you for joining. I have a wide variety of different things that I want to do on the stream today. I brought some of the chilies that we have grown after I watered and fertilized them. I will get them on stream later. Then I brought this piece here. This is one of the feathers hybrids, and I've been trying to propagate it. This was a piece that I had in the greenhouse on the upper shelf, letting it callus. And now I brought it in because I saw that it had an infection. So I put it under one of those LED lamps that I've been talking about, and I wanted to show you how it looks now. This is after a few days just under a normal plant lamp, full spectrum grow lamp. And this is the remnant of the infection. It's completely dried. This can, if you put this back into humidity, of course, that can slowly come back. But right now, I will leave that under the lamp for maybe another week or two. And then this will be fully calloused. No infection comes back in most cases. You always have that one case that you cannot save. But I've been doing that to end fungal infections fast. When you have an infection that you want to stop right away, a plant lamp, it's like you are using a UV lamp that is kind of disinfecting the area there, and it's making it very hard for any kind of fungal infection to have enough humidity to do this. Hey, yeah, I'm okay. Thank you. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, you know how it is. Usual kind of madness, but I'm looking forward that it's the weekend. Spending a little bit of time with the pets, with Mika and Kami. And I will be posting ruthlessly, probably, all over the weekend. So yeah, great to have you guys. Welcome to my stream. This is a cactus stream, cactus seedlings. I brought quite a few of them here. So let me show you a bunch. We have grown these in the last maybe 2.5 months, a little bit longer. They are just very young, still very sensitive, very vulnerable to drying out. Got to be very careful here at this age. So I'm watering them all the time. These need to be transplanted. Too many seedlings in one pot. Apart from that, they are developing okay. You can see some of them are having a slight discoloration from stress, sun-related stress. Every time I'm bringing the seedlings that are outside of a bag, like this here, every time I bring the ones that are out of the bag, I need to water. It is just a very common theme now at this point, at this stage, that the water dries out very fast. Okay, so let me get started. Just brought me something that I don't completely soak my desk again. I'm using the world's worst water can. It's leaking, but it's okay. Yeah, and everything that is out of the bag will be watered now. Hey, welcome to the stream. Great to have you. Thank you for joining. Oh, say hello to your dog. Greetings from me. This morning, our dog Mika, she ate the cat food. She ate Kami's food this morning. Mika is on a little diet. She's getting a little less because she had like gained 2 kilos in the last year. So now she's starting to sometimes do a food heist and stealing like the food of the cat. So yeah, I this morning was really funny with her. She's really getting creative when it's about finding new ways to find food. So I really need to be a little bit behind it. I don't want her to get overweight. I mean, a little bit isn't bad, but I don't want her to have any weight problem. So I try to keep it away. So yeah, watering the cactus seedlings here. Check it out. Very young, maybe 2.5 months old. They can still be in the small square pot for now. They like to grow in a crowded way, having a lot of seedlings at once. And I spray them 3 times a day right now. I try to do it more often, but it often just at some point you get to your limit, you know. So I'm every time I'm on the stream showing seedlings, I water them. The ones that are in the bag, we will discuss those within the next minutes. Just want to get started watering a few. They are still in a phase where they need a lot of water. After maybe 6 months, that will kind of change a little. They will be a little bit more sensitive to overwatering. So that point will come where you have to water much less or use a very fast draining medium. Okay, so let's do a few that are in the bag. I really enjoy doing them, opening them up because there's always something different happening. So in this one, a lot of variegation. The color of the seedlings isn't really normal. These could just be, could just be malnutrition. But they've been like that from the beginning. And I see green in between. These will have to come out of the bag very soon. Probably not today, because I still see some that are too tiny. Some that would transition very badly to normal room temperature, humidity. Temperatures is close, but the humidity is completely different. And when you try to make up for that by spraying them a little bit more often, you might still lose some. Okay, so let me put this aside. I have the whole desk is full of different stuff that I want to do today. And I'm always happy to take questions too, if you like. Always open, So these still haven't grown much, a little bit. I can see spines, actual spines on some of them. So that tells me, despite the small size, they are actually a little bit older. Not really completely young seedlings. And the fact that they've grown so slow then, like in comparison to some of the others, like, like this, they should be the same age. But this is Teleflora. Teleflora, hybrid between Sorensia telegona and Echinopsis irisi grandiflora. Old hybrid by Robert Gräser. Has been around for a while, has been around so long that people now find it under all kinds of different names. But yeah, genetically a little bit difficult. Seedlings grow very slowly. Sometimes they don't grow at all. Okay, so here, some seedlings look great. Some others are tiny, like the ones in front there. That must be genetic. That must be something like monstrose monstrous growths where one seedling kind of develops a different type of growth, mutated or something crested, you know. This is with a columnar cactus, so I can see that here. Columnar cactus and a father with a colored flower. Soil looks bad. I would love to take this out. I see a little bit of moss on the side. I feel like this needs to dry out at some point. But for now, the small seedlings where I suspect that they could be monstrous, they are too small. If I take them out now, will be hard to save them all. Every week that I can get them might improve that, like the outcome here with them. For now, I will try to keep it in for another week, but then it's getting like dangerous for the roots. Sometimes you look at the soil and you know that it's off in a way. You can't really 100% say what it is. Sometimes you pick up on stuff like algae because they are also indicator of pH level and that kind of stuff. And if that gets out of control, that is usually a sign that the soil isn't right anymore. And I see that with some of them that I would love to take out, but if you take them out, you also have to face the risk that you lose some just from the stress of taking them out of the bag. These here, variegated, really tiny. Maybe they will continue to grow. For now, they look a little bit like variegation. Hey, welcome to the stream. Great to have you. So yeah, in regards to the parents, this is a hybrid with Zizala, Uwe Kahle hybrid. There are some green seedlings in between, but a bunch of them look really variegated. Those might not really grow for much longer. They usually have a month or two, but then they run out of steam. So we would see if these will long-term even grow. My gut feeling is that probably not. Okay, yeah, and I have a lot that are out of the bag. And one thing that you see with those, the range of problems that you get has dramatically decreased. The main problem that we are getting now that they are out of the bag is dehydration. Dehydration, not being able to spray fast enough, spray often enough. Yes, I can graft some, that's true. I am not really grafting these kind of seedlings, and not now. I consider doing it sometime soon when the seedlings that we are growing here are a little bit bigger, just to show seedling grafting. But personally, for me, breeding, I usually try to have them in a way where they survive on their own root. But yeah, we might do a little bit of grafting here and there over the year, also in summer. But I'm at a point where space is running out, and I don't really graft a lot anymore. I usually try to graft 500 grafts in one summer, and that's not excessive. It's just it helps you to see the plants that you are breed. Like when you have a lot of seedlings and you graft a few seedlings, that speeds things up tremendously. And sometimes you see those plants are starting to flower, and you see the flower 2 years early, and you can already look at the seedlings and sort out. So I used to graft a lot, but the more I did it, the more I ran out of space. Yeah, I've instantly ran out of space again. So now grafting, when I graft, it's usually stuff that where I want to see the flower a little bit earlier, or just emergency grafts for the channel. I sometimes do videos where I graft, but I'm so out of space in regards to just grafting to get more, to get them to grow faster. I need them to grow very slow. Also with the seedlings that we're growing, there's so many. I have time. I'm not really rushing things along anymore. I'm not at that point in my life anymore. And that is something that I heard from many different cactus breeders, that at some point you just don't press it anymore. You don't have to see that flower 1 year. You can also wait another year to see it then. So yeah, I'm taking things a little slower now. Okay, yeah, in this one seedling. This was at the heater, I think, and it's removed from the heater now in order to save that one seedling. The longer you keep something at the heater, the higher the chance you will lose that. You will lose whatever you have. I'm not happy with only having one seedling in this container. I'm quite unhappy, to be honest, but one seedling is better than none. And at some point you need to make that, you need to see that. Okay, so let's have a look what we have here. These also totally different types of seedlings, and this is already out of the bag for a while. They've been fertilized, they've been watered 3 times a day, and they are dry again. So, and for the little ones here, that will be, you know, it will be crucial that I water them on a regular basis if I don't want to lose them. And yeah, we'll see how many of them I can save. You can always put them back in a bag. There's always the option. If you feel like things are going into a bad direction, just gotta be careful that they don't have open wounds, like when you have a seedling that had been injured by something like fungus gnats. The moment you put that in a bag again, it will start to rot. But if the seedlings are somewhat healthy, you can always put them back in humidity. I try not to, because I want to harden them up. I want them to kind of choose life. I want them to really, now they are a little bit stressed, but they get all the water that they would need. And I just need them to reward that with a little bit of growth here and there. Okay, so these here, a lot of variegated seedlings in this container, and some of them, they will eventually, when you take them out of humidity, they do not have the same kind of health system that a normal seedling had. If something's a variegated seedling, completely white, they will adjust poorly when you take them out of the bag, and that is like really, it's actually worse than that. You know, you will lose some that are just they cannot produce any chlorophyll. So taking them out of the bag, they will be gone within 3 weeks sometimes. Thank you. It's the worst watering can ever built, but it's part of the channel. You know, it's so old now. I think I have that 20 years, and I don't remember this can in a way where it wasn't leaking. You know, so, but it's part of the channel. After every stream, the whole desk looks like a like sludge, like a swamp. So yeah, but it's part of the channel. So this one also watering. I have, by the way, I have seen a fungus gnat, so they are still there. We had a big fungus gnat problem in the beginning. It was so bad that I started saying welcome to the fungus gnat channel. But yeah, now we have it under control. But the moment soil stays wet for too long, they will come back. They are there. They are not gone. When you have a fungus gnat infestation somewhere, they will usually not disappear again. They are hard to get rid of because they're so small. And the moment they find good conditions, they will come back. So I'm trying, when I'm watering, I try to find that middle ground in between watering so much that the soil stays wet all the time, and just letting it dry a little bit and then watering again. Because the fungus gnat larvae, they need humidity. If the soil dries out, they usually have a bad time. they can't really continue to slug around the way they do on the soil, eat seedlings. It instantly becomes less of a problem. But yeah, they're still there. Sometimes if you put, that is one of the things you need to keep in mind. If you put something back into humidity, you can also get fungus gnat problems again. This one here, too many seedlings, needs to be singled out. We will do that. I brought new, I found a few more square pots to repot seedlings. So we will do that sometime soon. This one also, watering. And in between, I'm spraying them. It's just that very often the soil that I use dries out so fast. I like that. That is the kind of stuff that helps you prevent problems with stuff like fungus gnat, but also different kind of weeds that are also competing for space and light in the pot. You will never really get 100% rid of any seeds, any kind of spores that can get onto the soil. So yeah, gotta create the right kind of environment for them, right kind of humidity. Yeah, singling out will be one of the things in the next couple of weeks. And then we'll see where that leads us, how much space we will still have left. Yeah, they need more water than you would think. In the beginning, like when you get started, you think you are watering all the time. You feel like you're watering all the time, but they are not getting better. In the beginning, a lot of people, including myself, underestimate how much water they need in the beginning. So I always preach that, you know. I keep reminding that because it took me a while to learn it myself. Okay, let's have a look in this one. This is a little bit off, you know, off center. I really like when the seedlings are in the middle because that gives them the most light. But for now, the seedlings look healthy. It's not that they are sick. Some of them grow much faster than others. Maybe there's mutations in this batch too. We would see. For now, I will just close it up again because some of them are just too small. They would have really, really bad time with trying to get used to like normal humidity, normal air humidity. Oh, that's sad to hear. Grow them out, you know. Just grow them out when they flower and send me photos. I'm usually able to tell what kind of a plant was involved. I usually know my plants when I see them, so I can sometimes help you to narrow down the choices that it could be. Just send me an email, maybe when they are flowering or when they are a little bit bigger. They need to, you know, they need to be past the seedling stage because some differences, some traits only come out a little later. So after 2 or 3 years, but then you can really send me photos and I might be able to tell you a little bit more. Always happy to help with that. Okay. Yeah, a lot of water that they need, but apart from that, some of them have a discoloration, like that reddish discoloration that indicates stress. But for now, they continue to grow. They have spines. They look good. Really, I'm really happy with them. If a seedling gets a little discoloration here and there as a result of the lamp or as a result of the sun, it does not really bother me much. What bothers me is when the seedlings become smaller and smaller and smaller. That is instantly, for me, a sign to take them away, move them elsewhere, water more, or stop with whatever it is that I'm doing. So here, these are too deep, takes away a little light. when the soil is so dry, sometimes you can just, let me try it out. No. Sometimes you can just get the soil out in one piece and fill up the pot to lift them up a little bit higher. But this isn't working. So I would just water them. Color is okay. They've been fertilized. They are also getting spines. Some of them, one or two, a little bit reddish, kind of reddish discoloration. That's just normal. When they are under a lamp, they will always react to whatever environment you put up for them. And that is kind of your indicator if whatever you're doing is going into the right direction or not. Sometimes when the reddening becomes excessive, that's not a good sign. At that point, I would really start to change stuff. Change the spot where I have them in the greenhouse. Keep them a little bit more in the shade. It's usually the sun, but it can also be cold weather, colder temperature. It's not, there are so many different plants that react to cold weather or excessive heat by turning red. Very common. So these here also, too many, need to be singled out. Will be hard to find space for all of them, but at some point we just have to take them out of the pot. Apart from that, seedlings look good. These are all good crosses, so it makes sense to invest the time to single them out and give them the space. Okay. I want to water them. Like I said, a few of them have a slight discoloration, but they are growing. They are actively growing. They have spines. They get more and more spines. And another thing that you need to be careful about is when you see more and more of the spines, but the seedlings get smaller. They show that they get too much light by growing bigger and longer spines. So keep an eye on the spine lengths, and if it gets excessive, that might also be a sign that the lamp is just taking too much life out of them. Okay, so here, basically the same. Also getting full, a lot of healthy seedlings, discolorations here and there, just as a reaction to the lamp. It happens, you know, life is stress. But they will very, very likely, they will just bounce back eventually. This is just a sign that you could water them more. But once you water them more, you get to that point where fungus gnats find a great setting again. And that is why sometimes you need to find that balance in between having stressed seedlings and keeping the soil wet all the time. Okay, so here I wanted to change something. This looks a little messy. There's one seedling that's lying there. Everything, I transplanted these, but I'm not really happy how it looks. So I need to invest a little bit more time. First, I want to have the soil wet again, that I can work clean, that I don't have soil sticking everywhere. So, and once more, just to be safe. So now I want to try repositioning the seedlings. Just with my pencil here, just trying to move the seedlings, including the root system, the little root thingy that they have. I try to move them a little, give them all they need. These have been taken out of the bag, going into normal humidity, and now it's a dangerous phase, and we can lose some of them. Have you measured the light? I used one of these apps in the beginning to measure the strength, but I wouldn't be able to tell you the result right now. It was acceptable, but it wasn't strong. The lamp that I use is a Mars Hydro, and it's not a super expensive one. They are much better. I'm sure there are much better lamps on the market, but it works. For cactus seedlings, you do not need that excessively you know, that perfect lamp. You could even grow them with with a very cheap kind of $10, $20 kind of lamp. It would work, but the better the lamp, the healthier the growth you get, and the longer you can use it later on when they are bigger. I will have a look. This is not something that that I want to fix, you know, that the seedlings are, like I said, I don't want to have 2 weak seedlings, you know. I'm pushing them a little now, but it is okay that they are having discolorations. But again, it is always, for me, it's always a sign that we need to be a little bit careful here, keep a close eye how often I water. You cannot stop watering them then, you know, you can't get lazy sometimes. And that is for me usually a sign that I can't do that, you know. But yeah, I'm also growing the other stuff here, you know. Now we're growing our vegetables. This is chili. Yeah, in the mass hydro lamp, it was, I didn't want to have one that costs a lot of electricity, because electricity is always a huge factor, cost of electricity. So I got one that was affordable, you know, like also with the power pull that it draws. So yeah, it's barely affordable as it is right now. And I've seen a lot of people recommend other kind of models, other manufacturers, but I really, like, for the seedlings, I just didn't feel like delving in so deeply, you know. I don't really intend to grow much inside. I usually grow the seedlings. I grow a bunch of vegetables, different kind of chili. But yeah, I don't want to, unless I suddenly earn a lot of money, I don't want to have that electricity cost on a regular basis. I always try to save that in summer. I move the seedlings elsewhere where I don't have to pay for the light. So yeah, wanted to show you my chili seedlings again. I'm so proud. These are going good. I have noticed that they might have already reached the end of the pot again, so we might have to repot them again. I'm not sure. This is also a situation where I could have potted them up in something big right away. And yeah, we would see. I just wanted to just try out, experiment, show stuff that works and show stuff that doesn't work. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward seeing them flower, being able to show them here on the stream. That would be great. I'm really looking forward to that. Okay, yeah, I will continue cleaning those up here. One or two of the seedlings have been a little bit like lying around messily, just being too close to the soil, and that can be the beginning of a fungal infection. If the seedlings already touching the soil, and if the seedlings already deep in the soil, then it's not far away from being consumed by it. So yeah, I always try to carefully move the seedlings, have them in a little bit more distant, a little bit more away, further away from the soil. Okay. Yeah, that looks okay. In regards to the spiciness, some of them really spicy. I'm not sure if I can eat them. I will try at least once. I don't really want to like eat them in a way that I don't want to get sick afterwards. You know, you always see the videos when people eat these super spicy kind of chilies. I will try to you know, to taste one when we have grown them. Would be a waste of time not to do it, but it's not really something that I'm really looking forward to. I don't really like that super spicy food, but I like plants that have these, you know, that know how to defend themselves. That is what I appreciate. That's why I'm growing cacti here, and I also like it when a chili plant is so spicy that it can barely be eaten. I respect that. You know, there goes a little bit of evolution into that. Must have taken a while to get so spicy. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that, but not really. A little bit. Okay. Yeah, here in this one, the seedlings are too deep. Usually, I try to really fill up the pot now. There are days when you're just not fully focused, and this is what happens. They're a little bit too deep. It's not a huge thing, especially not when I have them under the lamp. But later, if I would move that outside, somewhere in the shade, then this can be that drop that is responsible for the whole water bucket to run over. You know, it can at some point you have a humid environment there, a humid valley. I have not. I used to work rather with a mineral medium. I haven't really been experimenting with a lot of organic stuff or ways to add that. I know how I could do it, you know. Maybe we're doing it for the stream one day just in an attempt to maybe improve the soil, improve the quality of the soil. But it's not something that I personally do on a regular basis. I'm still in the last couple of years, I started working more with organic soil, organic fertilizer, and the first results that I had with the organic fertilizer wasn't so happy. But I'm working on it long term to do more stuff like that. So maybe we will look into inoculants and what we can use to pimp health, like pimp the general health or improve the general health and maybe the root system. With cactus seedlings, I often use different kind of plant extracts like horsetail. I think horsetail has silica in it, the extract, and that is often recommended for healthy root formation, that kind of stuff. When I use something, I usually use plant extracts to improve the health. But the last few years, I stopped doing that because it adds up. It became too expensive at some point. Every year when the flower season started, I would be buying all kinds of different kind of plant extracts. I was buying garlic extract because it's great. It's actually healthy for the plants, good for the cells, and it helps that the seedlings don't smell like food. That is something if you have problems with pests or if you have problems with animals taking bites out of the seedlings. Something like a garlic extract can really help to deter them because it really smells like garlic then. I did a lot of that stuff, but everything was so expensive, it added up. I think the garlic extract cost me $50 just for a couple months. And if you do that over the season, yeah, maybe 2 or 3 bottles, so it adds up, you know. Oh yeah, yeah. I've seen a lot. I've read a lot about it. Seen a lot about it. You can definitely improve the quality of soil like dramatically. It happens in nature everywhere. So many trees form symbiotic relationships with the other plants nearby, mushrooms, you know, and they can, of course, the cacti can also a little bit live from that, take in whatever they are putting into the soil. You have seen very healthy kind of root systems, so I'm totally sure that can make sense. It's not what I'm really, you know, what I did in the past, but we'll see. Maybe we're doing it just to experiment. Okay, yeah, these here, I repotted them, transplanted into sowing soil, and now they are looking better. They looked horrible before that in the old soil. I was quite unhappy with them. So yeah, only thing they need is water, like so often. But it's not bad, you know. At some point, if you're watering the seedlings twice a day, then that's already pretty good. They will continue to grow. That little stress that they are getting will be enough to remind them about growing, about being, you know, the need to be healthy. Pushing them a little, it allows them to grow into the shoes. So yeah, this has been watered now. I always wait until the water has settled a little, and these will go back to the lamp. Watered at least 2 more times today, probably more, to be honest. So these here, this was one of the dangerous ones. So let's discuss it. I had 1 or 2 that had a fungus gnat outbreak. So I had to take them out, but they were too small. So I've been trying to keep the humidity exactly the way it needs to be to not be a good medium for fungus gnat larvae, but water them often enough that they survive. And I've been making a good, you know, it's looking good. 1 or 2 seedlings are still totally white. I don't think that they will have a chance long term. They already indicate that they cannot produce chlorophyll, which is essential for cactus seedlings. But the others, they're looking pretty good. So watering them now, and then they go back under the lamp. Also a little bit too deep in the pot. If you have them here under the plant lamp, that is not a huge issue. But once you bring them out, this can be a deal breaker. And every kind of pest, any kind of like a slug, they can get to them very easily like that. It's always a little bit more difficult when they are higher up, especially when they are growing spines. So this one here also, here this one had like algae and moss, which has been drying out. And here are the seedlings that have also had a little sink from the fungus gnat. And also these have been watered just barely enough, the absolute bare minimum, in order to not have that problem that they had. It was not just fungus gnat, it was already the beginning of damping off, which is a fungal infection that you often get in combination with fungus gnats. So yeah, I'm watering this, trying to correct the position of 1 or 2 seedlings again. But we will not be able to save them all. Maybe we transplant them all sometime soon. But for now, they are still a little bit smallish. Transplanting them now would mean you can't save them all. Some of them will not make it. Okay. So I will keep this in like next time I'm seeing these and I feel like it's not looking good, we will transplant them into sowing soil. Cleaning up a little here, removing a dead seedling that just didn't have a chance, that was so affected by the fungus gnats that it had really no chance at life. Hey, welcome to the stream. Great to have you. And thanks everyone for joining. I appreciate it. Always happy to take questions if you want to know something. If not, we're just discussing the seedlings that we have grown here over the last 2.5 months. Okay. Yeah, I've been watering these a few times because the soil was so dry that it starts losing flexibility, but it's getting better now. But yeah, overall, these we might need to repot them. Okay, so here, also too many need to be singled out soon. Maybe into 3 containers, just this one alone. Apart from that, here's dried moss. This was a problem when it was in the bag, but now it's just history. Sometimes, once you take them out of the bags, a lot of problems just don't happen anymore. Problems like fungus gnat, overwatering, fungal infections, a lot more rare than in the beginning. If you lose seedlings at this point, it's more likely that they overheat, that they don't get enough water, or that they have something like a root pest, like fungus gnats. And yeah, but classic fungal infections, once you take them out of the bag, is rather rare. Okay, let's continue. I have a few more that are in the bag, and I also brought containers from the heater where we have been sowing out in the last days. I want to go through them also later. These look good, pretty all right, relatively young, maybe around 1 month old, 2 weeks to 4 weeks, I would say, because they already have spines, but they haven't grown much. Apart from that, this is an interesting kind of hybrid. Nice orange kind of flowers, big flowers, and seedlings have a lot of potential. The mother here, the flower was insanely big. I was so impressed when I saw it, and yeah, definitely worth to grow the seedlings here. So here, in this one, I'm disgusted. This is really bad. I believe we need to do something here. It's looking like a little garden, like a little hedge. Here's some sort of a kind of weed. So we will transplant them today. This will go into sowing soil. Brought a little soil here. Let's fill up everything a little bit more. Okay, I will water the soil a little bit. And it will take a while in the beginning. This will take a while. Once the soil is dry, it takes a while until it becomes flexible again, until the water is through evenly, soaks in evenly. Okay. So let's see. Check it out. This is now after the first round of water, and this corner is completely dry. You often have to, once the soil is dry, you need to water repeatedly to get it normal again, to get the soil to a point where you can use it. And I'm waiting for that now. Water needs to settle down, sink in. Everything needs to be one flat area. So I'm compressing the soil a little bit now. And also, that corner's still dry here. And then I want to transplant the seedlings. These will go into the new soil. I might still have to keep them in the bag. Simply because they are still too small. Check it out. This is not normal. This is mutation. Maybe crested. Maybe just sick. We will see. We will see what this will turn out to be. I already know without looking. This is Humcus Roro or Hilde Winterer. Humcus, it's Humcus Roro. Yeah, Humcus Roro. Humcus Roro. And that is just a lot of like the classic kind of seedling that I've seen in the last couple months. Not all of them, but most. So I will transplant them now into the new soil. And the soil is still not perfect, but it's good enough that I can work with it. I usually water all the time when I'm transplanting. It cleans things up. It's like when they do surgery and someone is having something like running water to clean the wound, you know, to keep visibility. That's what I often do when I'm transplanting. A lot of water, and the less soil you bring into the new container, the better. If you have some sort of a problem that because you need to, like, that causes you to transplant, then I would really clean the root system well before transplanting. In this case, I'm transplanting because I see no long-term growth there. Feel like maybe they have run out of nutrients, and also that landscape there, that moss landscape's really bothering me, and I don't want to start ripping out. This is beyond that. Hey, these are different kind of flower hybrids. Ceransia, Echinopsis, Lobivia, columnar cacti, you know? All kinds of different hybrids in order to get a good flower. A lot of Uvecale hybrids, really good stuff, you know? Stuff that deserves to be seen, deserves to be grown over the next years. We will see what comes from them. But that is usually the type of stuff that I'm sowing out. I have very little space, so I usually try to max it out with good stuff, and you could take any one of those here, and the flowers have the potential to be at least good, if not very good. Okay, so I transplanted these here. Humkes Roro goes into a new container. We can change the bag. That would decrease the risk that the moss comes back, because that can still happen. You know, you have them. Maybe they put out some spores, and then you have that same stuff in the new soil too. Thank you. Vielen Dank. So yeah, let's see. Okay, this will be all right. Gives it another month maybe. I need to keep them in the bag for quite some time. Normally, they are already at an age where I would take them out. Where I would take them out of the bag. They are probably same age as these. Thank you. I greatly appreciate it. Yeah, but they haven't grown. So this will get them maybe another 3 weeks. 3 weeks for them to actually grow a little, that they get to a point where you could take them out of the bag. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, and these here, they are big enough to be taken out of the bag right now. The more you have in there, the higher the risk that they press against the window here, against the corner of the square pot. So maybe we're taking them out now. We could leave them in a little longer, but it's not really necessary. The thing in the bag, it saves you a lot of time. You're seeing that today, the seedlings that we discussed today. Dehydration is one of the common themes that happens. And yeah, you just need to water quite a lot. And if you have them in the bag, you can just open them once every few days and be happy with it. So this is the chili from earlier. I want to water these two. I'm very proud of the chili that we grow. 3 different plants here, and we have a few more at the lamp. So just watering them a little, and sometime soon I want to transplant them. They have already outgrown the pot again. It's quite a different experience when you're growing something like that, when you're growing vegetables, compared to cactus seedlings, you know? Like in the time, you could theoretically leave the cactus seedlings in the small pot for a year. And a lot of people do it like that. You know, I will sometimes do it like that if they don't grow much. And these here, this is already the second time that they've been repotted. So there's quite a lot more potting work involved. Okay, so here, check these out. Totally different kind of growth from the seedlings. Some of the seedlings are very spiny. Some look spineless, almost spineless. Monstrous growth probably. Variegation maybe also. For now they are looking good. If we can save the little ones here, that would be great, because those are the ones that have that unusual growth. The normal ones here that are fast growing, of course I'm interested in them. I made that cross, I decided to sow it out, so I want to see them. But the others here, they have a lot of potential. They are growing totally different, and that could mean some sort of mutation, genetic mutation. This was a hybrid cross between a flower hybrid and a columnar cactus as a father. So very interesting kind of combination. And this is the type of, you know, like all these TPM hybrid crosses, it's that kind of stuff. Sometimes you have plants that on a regular basis have an incredibly high rate of like mutations that they cause. So this will be watered now. Watering them now and later. Maybe in 2-3 hours, maybe. And later today I need to take apart the water sprayer that I have, because something has clogged it up again. Sometimes there's algae in the water sprayer. It usually forms in there, and at some point it will clog up the system. So I need to really clean it well again later. I already did it once, where I took apart the whole water sprayer, and yeah, apparently it's not over yet. So these here, yeah, need to be singled out. Too many, but they are healthy for now. I took them out of the bag in order to prevent that they are pressing against the wall in humidity, because that can sometimes lead to infection when skin suddenly splits from pressing against the wall. But yeah, apart from that, they have a little bit more time, but they need to be singled out. Hey mate, welcome to the stream. Thank you. I'm doing well. I'm great. Thank you. I'm doing my best, you know. But looking forward to the weekend. Finally, weekend, the time when they don't send you any post, like any invoices by mail. That is always I'm always happy when it's the weekend, and there's not a chance that someone will send me an invoice. And yeah, apart from that, thank you. I enjoy being here. I enjoy doing the streams. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for the support. So yeah, I'm trying my best, honestly, and it's difficult. Like, it's really difficult right now, difficult time. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, thank you. Schönes Wochenende. That's German, meaning happy weekend or something like that. Good weekend. Like yesterday, they have changed something with YouTube, with the interface, and I suddenly only saw German comments yesterday. So they apparently have some sort of a new feature that auto translates the comments in the stream. And I was looking at all that German, and I thought, what happened? Why is everyone speaking German now? Thank you. Yeah, so here, apart from that, they look good. I want to water them a little, because so many seedlings, at some point you will just have one that dehydrates, where you do not, that doesn't get that perfect water. Sometimes, you know, the water always runs the same way and has a habit of leading the water away from certain seedlings. So yeah, and the more you have, the more difficult it gets to get them all an evenly distributed watering. So these here, these are dehydrated and badly. We need to do something here. So let me see. Here's a seedling that I want to take out. It doesn't have a root system. Could be fungus gnats. Usually when you have a seedling that doesn't have roots anymore, the root can break off if the soil is too dry. And that could have happened here. Apart from that, yeah, they need more water here. So I consider putting them back into the bag, maybe for another week. They look a little bit too stressed. When I bring them in humidity now, there's a little bit of risk that I bring back fungus gnats if they are here. But I need to risk it because they look a little bit too dehydrated. Sometimes when you see things are not going well in a container, react to it, change something. In general, you know, when you feel like things are not working out, change whatever you feel needs changing. So these will stay in here now for a week maybe, and that will eventually, hopefully, get them a little bit more normal looking again. A little bit greenish again, that would be great. So here, these need to be singled out. We will have a bad time finding space for all the cactus seedlings, but they are good. Sometimes you need to, if you have good seeds, you need to sow them out. You have to think about making space later. It's like all those big companies. They keep promising they will make some money eventually. So it stays to stick with them, you know. And these are just amazing. So I just have to find more space. Maybe we will build a greenhouse, something like that, you know, just for the seedlings. Okay. Yeah, watered both of these. In the next couple of weeks, we will start singling out. Apart from that, for now, I'm just watering. I just want to focus on getting them through this dangerous phase now, where I need to be there, need to be focused all the time. If I forget to water just one day, they will look bad the next day. This is the kind of stuff that you can really see within one day. Dehydrated seedlings, they will like double in size if you start watering them heavily. So yeah, same here, singling out too many. Yeah, also, but not so bad here. Both need water. They are growing healthy, but I feel like the ratio of spines in comparison to the body are a little bit too big. Like when you see that the spines get bigger and bigger and the seedlings get smaller and smaller, that is often a bad sign. So watering more. These look okay. Shows you how some seedlings take the humidity, take the drought a little bit easier. It's just different species that were growing here. Some of them from Bolivia maybe that are involved, some of them from Argentina, Peru, different kind of cacti that were used in the hybrid breedings. And some of them can take a little bit more drought than the others. In general, I try to water them as often as I can when they dry out in between. I just need them to dry out. Everything else isn't a problem for me. So these here, yeah, too deep a little also, what I wanted to say. Since we are singling out, we will single them out higher up then. So for now, these will be watered a few times today. Okay, let's move this away. Let's put this away here. Everything's dirty. A lot of water everywhere, leaking out of the can. That is the price of the water can. Okay, I wanted to go through the containers that I brought for sowing out. These have been filled with seeds, viable seeds, maybe a month ago. And since then, we have been trying to get seedlings with them. The seeds should be viable, but sometimes they will not come up. So that we will look into every case, analyze the seed that was used, analyze the parents, and find the reason why they haven't come up. So here, 2 seedlings from FARS 11. The second seedling here doesn't look so good. It has the seed remnant stuck on top, and I want to remove that because sometimes if it's a weak seedling, that can cause a fungal infection. So yeah, apart from that, these would stay in the container now. In this case, we used food takeaway containers, salad containers, 250 milliliters, I think. And they haven't been perfect for sowing out. You can do it in them, but they haven't been perfect. You need to leave space, like when you fill up with soil, you need to leave space towards the top. And that kind of leads to less light. And if you put them higher, they will be disturbed. The seeds will be disturbed by the drip water. Hey, I'm not sure what that means. I don't really use cork in any kind of situation here when growing. So I haven't heard it before. But yeah, I'm currently sowing out in sowing soil, classic sowing soil. Earlier we had cemetery soil. Trying to test all kinds of different mediums that I want to compare. But for now, classic sowing soil is a good thing. And then later, seedlings go into washed pumice, a nice mineral medium. So in this case, the seeds were pretty old. I looked at the label and it was some sort of a seed pack from 2014, maybe. So these didn't come up anymore. And I believe this experiment here is over. I will not continue with this one. Some of them had already been in the second germination cycle. That means that I tried to induce germination once. It didn't work. Then I let everything dry out. Then I watered again, sprayed them again, and had them at the heater again to get maybe a second wave of seedlings, but none have come up in many. There were some, but in the cases where the seeds didn't come up, there were usually good reasons for that. A lot of genetic problems. So unfortunately, that happens. This is Leuchtfeuer, seeds of a hybrid called Leuchtfeuer, involving Lobivia crassicaulis, interesting relative of Echinopsis grandiflora, and yeah, good for hybrid breeding. I've seen interesting hybrids with Lobivia crassicaulis. It just combines, it matches very well with certain Lobivia species like Lobivia winteriana. But genetically, this is pretty bad. And you didn't see it on the seeds. You didn't see it on the fruit. It was a normal looking fruit. But genetically, there was one seedling that shriveled away. I consider just, I will put this aside, and I do not expect seedlings to come up anymore there. Okay. This one also no seedling. Echinopsis glauca. Yeah, I've seen a lot of viability problems with that species in general. I've been trying it a few times, making crosses with it, and some of the times the seeds were completely unviable. At the very least, poor viability. The best viability was with Echinopsis hybrid Papagena. Yeah, and also here, I'm not seeing potential to continue. It was the second germination cycle already, and that means we spent a good 3 months on them. At that point, you need to say, okay, that space, I will use it for something that wants to live. So yeah, in this one, there was one seedling. This one here, the greenish one. And I felt like maybe we can push a little more, and that now we got this one at the bottom here. So at least we got a second seedling. This is old seeds also, from at least 4 years old. I wanted to have a seedling from this cross because I've seen some of them flower and they are good, so I've been trying to sow it out now, but doesn't look good. Sometimes you have a certain time window, and if they don't come up by then the seeds become unviable or very hard to handle. Okay. And these two, they will go to the lamp now. Now I have two healthy seedlings, or at least 2 seedlings, and I will definitely end the germination now, because the longer I keep it at the heat, the more likely it is that something happens to the 2 seedlings that we already have. Be happy with what you got is often important. 1 seedling can be enough. So let me see what we have here. What's this? Yeah, this is also the old seed from 2014, maybe. Unviable. And you might still be able to get a bunch of seedlings from it, but you need a lot of space for that. If you have that, let's say you have a bag, 10,000 seeds, mostly unviable. Yeah, then you have to really split it up into smaller portions. You can't sow out too many because that promotes fungal infection. And since the genetic health is already poor, you would get in trouble. So splitting the seeds up into smaller packs like this, maybe 20, just one type, and then maybe you have 5, 6, 7 healthy seedlings. But I'm not investing that much space, that much time. There's so many good seeds out there. These here, also 2 seedlings, Fast 12, and it's a good parent, good plant. I'm a fan of it. I've already seen plants like flowering in Australia from those kind of seeds, and they bring that amazing flower with them often. So nice. Yeah, also 2 seedlings will go back to the lamp. Everything all right. In this case now, they need to stay in there for 2 months, maybe 1 or 2 months. They are tiny. They don't get a lot of light through that thing, so it filters out a little bit, but it might actually be useful because sometimes seedlings can easily overheat, so maybe it creates the perfect kind of humidity. For now, they need to stay in there. Here, poor viability also. 1 seedling and another one. There's a tiny one on the side here. Amun-Re. Yeah, Amun-Re. So I'm glad that we have 1 seedling or 2. That second seedling is so small, I don't think it will long-term have a chance, but I will try. Amun-Re, genetically, sometimes it's great, sometimes not. It depends on what kind of a parent you use, what kind of a father you use for it. I've had a lot of success with it, healthy seedlings, but also that here happens too. Might also have to do with if the seeds are dried fast or not. I will look into that. Yeah, this looks great. I like when I see so many seedlings in one container. It feels like it rewards the time and space that I need to invest. It's not that it's necessary that a lot of seedlings are there. Sometimes when you have that amazing hybrid or that amazing plant, one seedling is enough. But I generally like it when it's worth my time. These are from January 19th. And this is very young cactus seedlings. They would stay in that thing also at least a month, maybe 2, maybe longer if it goes well. I will see. I will try out that everything goes well. Make sure that I can keep them in here for as long as necessary. And so far, like with the sowing soil, I haven't seen the same kind of problems that I saw with the cemetery soil with fungus gnats. Okay, I had that at the heater, and when I saw that we got a fair amount of seedlings, I moved it away, and now there are a few more that have come up. Here's a seedling in the corner. Probably arboricola. Yeah. You can see it on the seedling. Arboricola, Zelly hybrid, and pink stripes as a father. They are just slender, tiny little seedlings. You can really, they look unique. In my opinion, arboricola seedlings, they look unique. They are a little bit longish, a little bit more elongated, thinnish, and if you compare that, it's a different kind of seedling, even in the beginning. So if you sometimes, arboricola is such a fertile plant in my greenhouse that I had to move the plant at the farthest like border of the garden, as far away as possible from the other flowering plants, in order to keep it from accidentally pollinating something. It is a pollen machine. When I carry that thing, I'm covered in pollen. Like during flower season, when I move the plant to make videos, to record maybe sometimes a time lapse, it is unbelievable how much pollen that thing produces. So if you sometimes see these weird seedlings in a hybrid cross where arboricola isn't involved, it's often because it is so fertile, because it sometimes even pollinates stuff just because it is in the same greenhouse. I've become very careful with it. Yeah, a lot of seedlings here. And for now, everything looks okay-ish. Everything that's too close to the border here, there's an immense, I gotta get up. I think there are a lot of like cranes flying over, like a lot of cranes at once flying over. I need to get out. Give me a second, okay? Give me a second. I was too late, but we have a lot of cranes that are flying over the area, and I've been trying to film them in the last couple of weeks. Last couple of months, I've been filming them moving over the area, and you can hear them sometimes. You hear them before you see them, and yeah, unfortunately, I was too late. So I will later, when I go out, I will try to capture them in a video maybe. I always find them impressive when they're flying over. Always information. Really cool animals. So yeah, I apologize for the disturbance. I never heard cranes so loud in the house where I am now. They shouldn't be so loud. Must have been pretty big, kind of swarm of them. So yeah, thing is with these, I really didn't like when the seedlings fell down there. See that thing, that outward bent shape that is normal for this container, because it's made. You need to be able to put a lid on easily, and for growing in it, that makes it a little bit more difficult. So long term, I will see if we can get something else if we continue to test the takeaway method to sow out. I'm really looking forward. Maybe they're flying over a little bit more later. Okay, so in this one, 3, right? No, yeah, 3 seedlings, 1 down there, 2 here. This is a pebble or something like that, and that's good enough. I wouldn't leave that at the heater anymore. It's at the point where it's already dangerous to keep them at the heat. So this will go under the lamp. Very healthy, but it needs to stay in there for a good month or 2. See what this is. In this one, I also had no germination. None at all. Hybrid with splash. Lobivia hybrid with splash, but also older seeds. Unfortunately, in this case, too old. Sometimes you have a, it depends on at which time the fruit ripens. Sometimes you have that winter fruit that is already lifeless, that doesn't really have viable seeds in them. But they come up sometimes, you know. So in this one, I want to take a look at the label because we also have no seedlings. Total failure. Echinopsis glauca. I'm really frustrated because that is a cool plant. I've shown it last year in in the videos, on the stream, on the channel, and it was amazing. The flowers look great, but so far almost all of the fruits with that plant were unhealthy. So we haven't found the right partner for it yet. In my opinion, I will try to get Chalensis and Glaucus flowering at the same time. They are both very similar plants, might be the same species in some form, you know, where you have different subspecies of the same species. So I will try to get Chalensis flowering with Echinopsis glauca. And I might be able to get viable seeds then. Really perfectly viable seeds. Because so far, I haven't seen it with that species. You have that sometimes. Could be relatively incompatible with the kind of plants that we usually try, that we try most often. Doesn't mean I can't find something somewhere that might be able to get a healthy fruit from it. So here, very young seedlings. Also probably January 19th. Apparently that was the day when I was sowing out. And this is the size that is fitting. Very young, and some healthy seedlings, some green ones, but also variegation. So it's not that that it's a perfectly healthy cross. Here's a healthy seedling that is at the label. Check it out. It's stuck down there, and I will try to get it out because it's a green seedling. And some of the seedlings here, not all of them are green. If I can save that green seedling there, then that's already good. It already has a fair size. That might mean that it could be one of the genetically healthiest seedlings in this container. Okay, so I've been moving that seedling that was stuck there at the tag, at the label. Yeah, and for now, these are just too small to do much. I would just close it up, put the seedlings back in humidity, They are just in the first stage where they need to settle in, where they need to come up at their own terms without being disturbed. So I will just close it up again. I've also seen very variegated seedlings here. Some that will probably not be all right. But for me, I don't care. You know, it's just that we will try to focus on the ones that grow healthy instead. If something isn't really doing well, then it's not supposed to be. Okay, so here, one seedling, Amun-Re. Amun-Re winter fruit. This was a very small fruit, but at least I have one seedling. That is how you sometimes, the really good hybrid crosses, sometimes you just get that one or two seedling. That makes it even more rewardable when they make it. So I will try to close this thing up. This will go to the lamp. It's just one seedling, but that's okay. Maybe we will get a few more that are coming up in this one. But for now, I want to keep that one Amun-Re seedling. It could very well be that we don't get any more. This is Pink Stripes. Unfortunately, no seedling yet. This will go to the heater again. Not seeing live. So this goes straight to the heat. Maybe I can get a little bit more out of them. This is something that where we transplanted. We transplanted in sowing soil because of moss problem. And look at this. The moss is coming back. The seedlings have basically carried it from one container to the other. Like I said, when you transplant seedlings, it often gives them a little bit of time advantage. A little bit of time to develop, but not really. The moss can still come back, and that is the case here. It's not a problem. They still have a good month in this container. But yeah, at some point, the moss might be an issue. We will see. Let me have a look at the label. Angelo. Angelo is a good hybrid. I really like that. I lost my mother plant of Angelo, so I need to replace it. I really need to replace it. I might still have a little bit of frozen pollen, so I might even still be able to make crosses with it this year. But the plant didn't make it in winter. This is also very young. First stage of seedling germination, cactus seedling germination. Pink stripes. Arboricola crossed with... I catapulted soil in my mouth. This is Arboricola crossed with Zelly and crossed with Pink Stripes. So that is a great cross. I'm happy about that. This could, if this has the kind of color that you see from Pink Stripes, that would be good. That would be really nice. I would love that. But they are so young. They need to stay in there for now. These will also go to the lamp. Just allowing them to grow for a couple of weeks maybe. And then over the next weeks, we will see what comes from those. Okay, here, this is a perfect example for the problem that I have with the takeaway containers. So in this case, there was too much soil in the pot. So usually you would fill that up like half of the soil, and then you have a little bit space for the seedling. And in this case, it didn't happen. It was too much. And once you have that, the water collecting in center and dripping down, it in this case, it completely messed up the seedling. So for now, I would take these out. I would take these out of humidity because this can't work. This is just bad. They don't look so healthy. Maybe they also have a problem Can also be, you know, like fungus gnat related maybe. But for now, I will take that out. There was a second seedling, a tiny one, but it's actually just that big one in center that we have for sure. So I will keep these out. And this is from a hybrid cross between Wörlitz and Cantora Gelb. So it has potential, definitely potential. You often have to grow 100 seedlings from the Wörlitz crosses to get the best ones, but there's potential. A lot of seedlings. Very young, first stage of cactus seedling life. For now, it's okay. Some of them have come up here in that area, and that is always bad. And I've had that problem the most with the takeaway containers. Not so much with these. It's just a little bit easier. I think the walls of the square pot are just not so flexible compared to this. And when you grab them, when you take them up, you very fast have that effect where the soil sits in center like a cake, and you have a lot of space on all sides, and that's not good for growing seedlings. But for now, it's okay. We will keep them in there for as long as they have to stay in humidity, and then when they are bigger, we can transplant them. We just have to be careful that there's not a rotting seedling lying there or multiple rotting seedlings all around, because at some point you will get that infection at the top also that will just sit itself on top of the healthy seedlings eventually. These here also Amun-Re. I think this is the one that we have sown out just recently. So this will go to the heater again. Really trying to get more seedlings out of the Amun-Re seeds that I have. Amun-Re, amazing hybrid, and I finally want to see all the offspring from all the crosses that I made with it over the years. So here, this is Gräsers Erfolg Selbstbestäubung and Cantora Gelb. Super amazing hybrid. I'm not sure what happened here with the seeds. Cross with pink stripes. Really sad that it didn't work. But I look at the number. It's from 2024. So a little bit older. Could already be failing. Yeah, but this is disappointing. 2-year-old seeds should still come up. I'm not sure what has happened there, but it could be that I used a father that was genetically incompatible. Okay, next one. I'm almost done with the stream also. If you want to have, like, if you want to ask any questions, I'm always happy to take them. If not, we're finishing this here. Another Amun-Re, not looking so good, not looking so viable. Amun-Re is almost certainly a multi-hybrid. Mother was a Macrogonus hybrid, like Macrogonus or Macrogonus hybrid, and the father is unknown. Must have been something genetically distant. Echinopsis, probably Echinopsis, if you ask me. But it could also be just a classic hybrid that you don't see that you don't see strongly in the body. So this one here, no seeds, no seedlings. Sörensia seeds, a little bit older, so I will try to have more patience with them. This will go to the heater again. But these are closely getting to the point where they really should come up. Otherwise, at some point, I'm running out of patience with them. Okay. Yeah. All right. Think this was a great stream. I appreciate it, guys. And yeah, today I'm glad that I didn't rant away, didn't start ranting about something else, and it leads away from the stream. It happens from time to time, and I apologize. But yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for making it special. It really helps when you're going through the dark phases in winter as cactus breeders, which is always the time when you kind of lock yourself up inside for a few months, and it's always great to be here and do something good with the time, you know? So I appreciate it. Thank you for being here. I hope you have a great weekend. Spend it nicely. Give yourself a little time off. You deserve it. Okay, thank you, guys. Have a nice time. I will be back tomorrow morning. Thank you. Until tomorrow. Thank you. Have a nice day.